my friends. For today's beer review, we're going to be taking a look at Left Hand Brewery's Wake Up Dead Russian Imperial Stout Nitro. Left Hand Brewery's Wake Up Dead is a Russian Imperial Stout. As I've reviewed a few videos back, I reviewed Left Hand's Milk Stout Nitro. For a nitro beer, Left Hand has got one of the creamiest, most impressive nitros I've ever seen. So I can only imagine how absolutely amazing it's going to be in a Russian Imperial Stout. I absolutely cannot wait. This should be a real treat. On the back of the bottle, it says, brewed on the banks of the mighty St. Vrain, just like the others. And it says, super smooth trifecta of cocoa, dried fruit, and licorice flavors. Alcohol is 10.2%. This is a really big beer. Probably not going to want to drink more than 2 of these, I would imagine, at most. Enjoy at 40 to 45 degrees. Once again, this is one of the stouts you want to drink cold and not worry about letting it warm up at all. Just drink it straight out of the fridge. And you have to pour this very aggressively because of the nitro beer. If you haven't seen it in my previous videos, I'll demonstrate again how cool it looks when you pour this. We are going to be drinking this out of the Duvel Snifter Tulip glass. And what you want to do is you want to pour this beer perfectly vertical. Straight out of the glass it looks pitch black. Or out of the bottle rather. Now watch as these bubbles stream from the bottom to the top slowly, forming the head. Is that not the coolest thing? It has one of the strangest developing heads I've ever seen on a beer, but it's so worth it because the head that it develops is just absolutely dense, creamy, thick. It's more like a marshmallow than a head. And you'll know it's done once all this rises up to the top and it finishes making the head. And we're just about there now. And there we are. It is now ready to go. Alright, formed about a finger and a half of really nice, thick, pillowy, creamy tan head. Lots of little bubbles in this. This beer has amazing head potential and head retention as well. I really don't even need to hold this up into the light because it's pitch black. Looks like motor oil in the glass. Alright, let's smell it and see what we can pick out of the flavors. Immediately you are hit with a very milky coffee note. There are darker cooked fruits here, such as dates, figs, raisins. There's definitely a little bit of chocolate too. As far as the aroma goes, it's actually quite similar to their Milk Stout Nitro. So you're getting medium chocolate, not too sweet, not too bitter, right in the middle. A few darker fruits and some kind of milky coffee, such as an espresso with creamer that had been put into it. So here we go, guys. Let's take a sip and see what Left Hand's Wake Up Dead is all about. Wow. Wow, wow, wow is all I can say. Amazing. Dark roasted coffee. Baker's chocolate. German dark bittersweet chocolate. Very heavy dark fruits. Very cooked too. They're faint. Good amount of sweetness up front, a little bit of bitterness in the back to round it off. Little bit of a boozy alcohol note, but just enough. It's actually warming to a degree going down. Decent lacing on the glass. Amazing head retention. Extremely creamy mouthfeel. Just as creamy as the Milk Stout Nitro. It's so good. You might find some kind of burnt caramel in there if you search hard enough. Really, it's the bitter coffee and chocolate and the sweet, creamy milkiness up front that come through in this. Truthfully, when I taste this, it tastes like a milk stout nitro that's been amped up tenfold. The chocolate's a lot more chocolatey. The bitterness is a lot more bitter. The sweetness is a lot sweeter. Just everything about the milk stout nitro amped up to tenfold proportions. I mean, it's just a very strong, heavy beer. It's delicious. Having this by a fireplace during the wintertime or when it's cold out, you can sip on this and you would never want to finish it. It just tastes amazing. Okay, you have sweet, creamy milkiness and a little bit of sweet dark fruit up front, followed by your bitter German chocolate, and then in the end, your slightly bitter dark roasted coffee. Extremely malty, like no hop profile at all, of course. Medium finish. It doesn't reside in the mouth for too terribly long, but it's not instant either. It's just somewhere right in the middle. You know, I rated Left Hand Brewery's Milk Stout Nitro at a 10 out of 10 stout. And I agree, it's a 10 out of 10, but this one cranks it to 11. Because if we're having to compare this side by side, I would say this is even better. But they're both 10-star stouts. This one is just much stronger. I mean, I'm literally feeling warmth in my chest from this beer. This is phenomenal. 10 out of 10, no question about it. I think this is going to replace, no joke, this is a big deal, this is going to replace Left Hand Milk Stout Nitro as my favorite beer of all time. Period. And that's over pale ales, IPAs, Scotch ales, lagers, pilsners, everything, stouts, porters. This is my favorite beer now. This is the best beer. That wasn't the best beer because you can't say it's the best because everything's so different. But if somebody had to come up to me and said, you can have any one single beer right now, what would you have? This would be it. Phenomenal. 10 out of 10. One of the best stouts I've ever drank in my lifetime. If you guys can get your hands on this, please check it out. It will be a life-changing experience, I think, because this is just amazing. So there you guys go. That's been Left Hand Brewery's Wake Up Dead Russian Imperial Stout Nitro. So make sure you get the Nitro if you can. It's going to be even creamier. And I hope you guys join me for the next beer review.